So, I'm gonna be honest. This week's chapter is kind of a stereotypical anime trope. So, if it seems like it's a short video, that's because it is. Hello, Internet. I am the hero of Julios, once again with another One Piece chapter summary. This week's chapter is chapter 1180, Omen. The artwork this week is a what-if scenario of Dr. Vegapunk reprogramming the thundercloud that is Zeus to rain candy instead of rain. Chopper is very excited by this change and is probably very thankful to whatever person wrote in this request. But that's pretty much all the happy we get for this chapter. That's right. It's all in the non-canon cover art. Yeah, so it starts off with Imu. He is here. He is in his full glory, and we actually get to see a nice full body shot. No questions as to what he actually looks like. We do see later in the chapter that he does have a pair of black wings, but unlike King, who is a Lunarian, these wings seem to come and go at will. So I'm going to table my is Imu a Lunarian question, because maybe he is, but maybe he's also not. Or this is just the power of his devil fruit, or his devil's fruit, as it seems to be properly called. Regardless, he's here, he's got horns, he's got Rinnegan eyes, he's got a lot of dots on his body, which is it's a very interesting design choice. I'm not exactly sure what this is supposed to invoke, but maybe it's the result of his power. Maybe it's the result of his dark pacts. Maybe each dot is like a person he owes a favor to, or a person who owes him their soul, or I'm sure it'll all be explained later. But for now, he's just got a really cool design. He's got these 3 skulls on his kilt, skirt, dress, shawl, whatever you want to call it, what's around his legs. And he's going shirtless, which in Elbaf's climate is a perfectly reasonable thing to do. So, if there was any doubts as to whether or not Eam was a guy or a girl, throw those out the window, because, you can't show that on TV if he wasn't. So, he shows up. Everybody's looking at him. Everybody's confused. And the very next panel, we see Gerd's fingers chopped off. I know, it seems like a really quick jump, but that's because it was. That was literally the next panel. So Gerd was holding, Sommer's one half here, his other half here, and she was holding him like a weird magnet kind of thing. Well, he hopped down, took his big knife staff thing, and just... And as Sommers is falling, and Gerd's fingers falling with him, he just kind of says, "What are you doing, Sommers?" And that's when, obviously, not taking this lightly, Zoro decides to attack him, and he parries the attack, and Haruden tries to attack him first. And Stanson kicks him out of the way, realizing that Imu's going to counterattack, and Imu takes Stanson's leg with a slash. So he's not messing around. Now, Zoro tries to go in for the kill. He pulls out King of Hell, Purgatory, Onigiri, like he's going the same like all-out attack he did against Kaido. And Imu's little spike demon tail just kind of counters it. And then Imu pulls out a little black flame, which he calls Omen, which is the chapter title, but we'll get into Omen later. And he just... And this of air is all it takes to just blast Zoro away. Haruden tries to get back up after Stanson pushed him out of the way. Haruden goes to attack, and he just... And Stanson gets blown away as well. Now, as Sommers is getting up, Imu gives him this same black fire. He puts it as like a ring around Sommers. You hear someone off screen yelling, "What is this black fire?" And the ring that floats above Sommers, he looks up at it with his big dumb face and says, "Oh, an omen? Oh, thank you, Lord Imu." So my guess is it's some kind of power-up. At least when used on an ally. When used on an enemy, it just seems like an explosive attack, which is a very, bad thing, but this seems to be the extent of it. Powers up allies, hurts enemies. So, But with this power-up, Emu tells him, Sommers, we do not have much time. We got to take care of the mission. And Sommers says, yes, yes, Lord Emu, which was really funny because like 4 chapters ago, he was like, ha, this is all Lord Emu's fault. No, well, the boss is in the room, so can't really talk smack anymore. The two of them leap off in separate directions. And as Emu leaves, the like nightmare monsters that the houses and all the trees turned into return to normal. Which is interesting. There is a range to Emu's presence. But while you are in his lair, to put it in D&D terms, there seems to be something that happens. He has a lair effect. He has, and unlike most D&D lairs, they don't follow the legendary monster. This is a completely different scenario. But it seems Emu has an immediate effect on the world around him. But fortunately it goes away when he leaves. So that's something to keep in mind. We briefly get a few panels of Emu flying through Elbaf with his big dark wings, and he sees the big chunk of ice that he got stuck in with Gunko. And he looks at Gunko, and he looks at the ice, and he just kind of... and he blows up the chunk of ice. So I guess Gunko wasn't worth saving, but the other 2 Chucklenuts are, because we'll see in a moment what he saves Killingham too, but I guess Gunko wasn't good enough. He just, that vessel is done, past her due. Probably thought what Luffy thought of, oh, Loki, you froze them solid. I guess they're dead now. And Loki told Luffy, no, it's a flash freeze. So if they thaw, they'll be fine. But only Ragnar can thaw them. So unless Emu's fire is that powerful or that different from normal fire, I would say the ice block is probably still there, and Emu just thinks it blew up. But that's not important, so, at least for now. What is important is the next panel with Gaban, who tells him, I don't even know who he's talking to. It says Gaban's team, but Stanson was with Haruden, Gerd went with Haruden, Rode went to protect, so I guess he's with Goldberg? I guess it's him and Goldberg right now? So he's either talking to Goldberg or he's talking to himself. But either way, he points out that he has never felt hockey like this. Even at God Valley. The last time we saw Emu do his, like, I'm a big noodle possessing my minions, you know, to be the all-powerful thing that solves the problem, he was at God Valley. And his burst of hockey was so terrifying, and Gaban was there, and he felt it, and he didn't feel this, which means Roger, Garp, Whitebeard, what was it, Linlin, Kaido, and, dang, I'm blanking, Rocks, thank you. They were all there. They all struck the Great One. They felt his hockey, and this was just an avatar of Emu, which means no one, at least in modern history, has ever fought his true form. So where's our intrepid heroes who are going to protect us from this big scary Emu? They are still having lunch. Loki uses some of his lightning breath to flash cook all of the meat. Luffy kind of complains a little about it being overcooked, but regardless, the 3 of them are just chowing down now because Loki felt some dark presence. Luffy says he can feel it too. Ragnar the squirrel's just like, yeah, me too, guys. He's also eating because the hammer's got to be ready for this too. But that's it. It's just the 3 of them eating their hearts out. Meanwhile, Sanji and Co. are standing before Eam, who has landed. He has freed Killingham. He gave him a fire disc of Omen. And yeah, Sanji tries to fight him. Goes in for his big kick like Sanji does. This is the same Sanji who kicked the crap out of Queen. You know, this is the same Sanji who defeated Killingham pretty easily. Emu blocks it and then uses a counter kick that sends Sanji off the map and hits Jinbei with some black fire while he's at it. So as Emu is standing there having just knocked Sanji away, there is a presence behind him. And this individual says, "What are you doing on Elbaf?" And Emu says, "Oh, well, you see, 14 years ago, my beloved servant Harold was destroyed, and I am here to rectify the problems that have arisen." Yeah, the individual behind him is Loki. And Loki tells him, no, he wasn't a servant of yours. That was my father. You're looking for someone to fight. You're looking for the king of Elbaf. You're looking at him. And I'm about to tell you why you shouldn't have. And that's where the chapter ends. It is a very quick chapter because it is kind of your stereotypical, the bad guy shows up, he shows off just how powerful he is, he kind of wipes the floor with who you would argue are the best fighters. You know, this is the Saiyans show up and they beat up Yamcha and Piccolo can't stop them, and you know, this is, you know, Pain shows up and he beats up Naruto and the other ninjas can't stop him, and then, you know, obviously a few chapters later we get a power up or the power of friendship, or, you know, whatever happens every single time an arc happens in Bleach. I'm sorry, Bleach fans. I really tried to read your manga, but it felt like the same arc over and over again. Bad guy shows up, he's so strong, learn new ability, defeat bad guy, repeat until the story's over. But it's a very normal trope in anime. Fairy Tail does it. But basically any shonen anime or any fighting anime. That's all this really was. It was just Emu flexing. It was just Oda showing us, honestly, the last few chapters I've been asking, what are we afraid of? This. So, what's interesting about Omen? I typically try to make sure that I read the official translation before it comes out, and that's why my videos come out on Mondays instead of like Thursday like everybody else. But I do read the leaked translation when they come out because I don't want to get spoiled, so I just read it as soon as I can. So this is from the translator that I found, which I don't know if it's true or not. I will wait until... I've talked about Dawn and Dusk. I'll kind of wait until they make a video on it because I'm really curious about this particular one. It seems like the kanji used for Omen is almost like an inverse of the kanji used for Haki. So maybe Emu doesn't have Haki. In fact, the whole Haki conquers all, what Kaido said to Luffy. What if, with Emu being the quote original devil fruit, I'm hoping not the origin of devil fruits, but if he is the first devil fruit, what if his power is the inverse of willpower itself? It is the oppression. It is the strength above willpower, or the opposite of willpower. And because of that, its kanji is the inverse of Haki, and therefore Emu is anti-Haki. Which is really funny because we've been making so many memes, so many jokes about Haki conquers all. This might be the case where your Haki means nothing and you have to have a devil fruit. So Luffy and Loki might be the ones that have to win this. It's very interesting. But I would love to know in the comments below if you can make heads or tails of what Emu is capable of. What's with the dots? What's with the omen? Why is it a black fire circle? What is about to happen? Fortunately, we don't have to wait. There will be a chapter next week, so I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you are too. Thank you for watching as always, and I will see you in the next video. This is the Hero of Julios, Xing out.